It seemed like we never leave work.
We'll never meet this project deadline. There's too many moving parts from too many teams.
Then we realized we had Miro, our online whiteboard, our way out. Hey, David, where's the user research?
I see the Chicago team adding it to the Miro board right now.
Let's add a project timeline.
Miro has a template for that. Done. That was easy.
Nice. The Tokyo team's online. I'll get them to add the design sketches.
Ready to share the Miro board with the leadership team?
Let's go. That, my friend, is the sweet sound of another project in the bag.
Miro's visual online whiteboard gives your team the right tools, tech, and templates to share input and get feedback in real time, so you have fewer meetings and more time to get the job done. Get your first 3 boards free today at Miro.com. That's MIRO.com.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Welcome to the Hypothalamic Amenorrhea podcast. I'm Danny Sheriff, your host, certified fertility awareness practitioner, functional nutrition counselor, and founder of the HA Society, and of course, an HA recovery coach who has walked where you currently are walking. This is the place to come if you care about getting your period regularly. This podcast aims to educate, inform, and keep you motivated on your period and HA recovery track. So let's dive in. But last thing, nothing on the show should be taken as medical advice, so please seek the advice of your physician. So, over a year ago, I created something called the 7-Day HA Recovery Commitment Challenge, and I've been running it for over a year. It was this free email-based challenge, so lots of reading, but you would get an email every day for 7 days to help you overcome and tackle the different but important areas that you need to be checking off in order to get your period back. Now, over time, I have collected some really great feedback, and upon working with all of these wonderful, amazing women, really started to learn even more about what works and what doesn't. And so I'm excited to be introducing to you guys the updated version. It's called the 7-Day HA Recovery Kickoff, and it is totally designed to help you not just commit to the process and have all of your ducks in a row in terms of important factors that need to be tackled and issues that need to be overcome in order to get your period, but the whole thing is now based in video. So you can listen/watch, and every day for 7 days, we will tackle nutrition. There's actually 2 days of that because it's so big. We'll tackle lifestyle, we'll tackle exercise, your support network, your mindset game. Each video goes from anywhere between 12 minutes and 5 minutes, so it's not very long, but you'll get all of the most important areas and the best tips and strategies for how to implement them. Because I know that going through recovery is hard. There's always an area for each person that is a little bit difficult to execute on. And so the goal, or maybe a lot difficult. So the goal of this challenge is to help you have the awareness, the self-awareness, and the tools and strategies you need to overcome each of the different issues that AHA recovery faces for us. So get on it. It's great if you're at the very beginning of recovery or if you're halfway through. I mean, we never know how far through we are until it's over, do we? But no matter where you're at, it can be a really good opportunity to check in and look for blind spots and areas where you might be dropping the ball in your nutrition, in your lifestyle, in, maybe it's your support network that's a problem, maybe exercise is something that you are still struggling with making changes to. So check it out. Go to thehasociety.com/7-day-challenge, or the link will be on the website. So it maybe in the show notes of this show. It may not be. Just go to the hasociety.com and you'll find it in the footer, or you'll find it in the pop-up that happens when you visit the page. And we will see you for day 1 of the challenge.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the AJ podcast. It's me and Ashley. We're doing a quick episode today, just quite simply because I have an errand to run. So we have a hard stop. But, you know, you guys still are important. So you need your episode. And so here we are.
Yes, I am super pumped. This is a really good question. I'm reading it right now and it's just so relatable. So I'm excited to dive in.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it. And, you know, when people email a question over instead of Instagramming, it just feels like, so like, yeah, I have to answer this one. I don't know why I have that. So that's the best way to get through. But we do have some Instagram questions too to get to at some point. I'll get to them, everyone. I promise. But let's do this. Sarah writes in and she says, "Hi, Danny and Ashley in spirit. This is my 3rd time recovering from HA, as I've battled eating disorders since my mid-teenage years. I'm now 23. I have gained a significant amount of weight so far in my recovery." She lists her height and weight for us. "And am continuing to take a huge break from training and eating plenty. Finally, I am all in terms of no rules, no stress over exercise, just wanting my womanhood back. I'd say this mindset change happened around mid-September." So super recent, right?
Yeah.
Over the summer, I got my period once for the first time in a year on July 18th. I wasn't stressed, working, or burned out. I was just restoring, but still weightlifting here and there. Now the school year has started and I have tons on my plate as I am a 1st grade teacher. I completely cut out training other than stretching-based yoga and light walks to de-stress ground after school. I'm at a higher weight than I was over the summer, so I know all my rest and food is still working despite being on my feet all day at work, but still no period since that July one. I'm struggling to find ways to reduce stress. I've been concentrating on not bringing work home, but was wondering if you could give some journal prompt ideas to inventory areas that are stressing me out that I might be missing. I also want to get any tips you have on how to stop having coffee first thing in the morning. I'm struggling to break that habit as a teacher, and maybe it's my missing piece. How long should I expect to wait for my period with this somewhat new all-in mindset that I adopted in mid-September when I said to myself, enough is enough? I feel so defeated, like what I'm doing is never going to work because my job is so stressful. I love your show, your advice. I want you and Coach Ashley to know how much you've helped me so far in my journey. Thank you. I love this question because this is me.
This is totally you. I was like, okay, Danny, are we going to talk about this?
This is me. I'm doing all the things. And I just think that this is so true. And we have other clients too. We're like, yeah, on paper, you're doing the things and you do have a better outlook and perspective and healthier relationship with a lot going on. But still, like, it feels like there's a lot going on. And the stressful.
Yes. So, do you want to go first or
No, you should go first because honestly, like,
you're like, this is me.
Is me.
Okay, so I have a few thoughts in general that I kind of want to pick out. So I'm gonna pick out like the soft skills and then like the hard evidence type of thing, right? So we're gonna do this. So I totally relate with this person when they're like, I've gained significant amount of weight and on my journey. Yes. But in her head, she truly believes that because in society, this is a significant amount of weight.
Exactly right.
100%. And so I think honestly, like this is our first mindset barrier is that we are convinced that we have done all the things because we've gained X amount of weight. And honestly, that's something that we're telling ourselves. That's not something our body is telling us, right? Unless you have super nice warm temperatures and like you're having like, you know, like your body's ovulating, You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's only about weight, because we know that that's not the belief that we hold, but it's interesting that we completely disregard this as, this can't possibly be it because I've gained this amount of weight.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason why I bring this up is that had I stopped at the 18, 20 pound mark, I would have never, hear me, I would have never got my cycle back. Never. So I just say that with so much love, because I know she truly believes that she is at a weight that she can cycle at. She truly believes that she has gained enough. But honestly, our cycle is always on the other side of what we truly believe is enough. You know what I mean? And so that's the first filter that we tend to run everything through. You know what I mean? Like, no, this can't possibly be it. I'm at a healthy weight. Nope, can't, you know what I mean? I don't need to gain any more. So therefore, so whenever we have this mindset, I'm at a significant amount of weight, that's not it anymore, we automatically stop increasing our food, because we relate food and weight together. So if my weight's fine, then like my food's fine. And then that leaves two giant gaping holes in our recovery. You know what I mean? To the point where like we think we're eating enough meals, we think that we're eating enough calories. And I'm not saying that you're not, but what I'm saying is, by holding this belief, that automatically becomes a blind spot.
Yeah, like not being open to, or maybe this is, so 100% this is me, and this is conversations I've been having with other people recently too. So I'm going to throw like an example out, right? But Danny, but Ashley, I've gained like 8 kilos. Like, what do you mean? Like, where? So who are you to say 8 kilos is like some kind of magic number, or is enough or sufficient? But this is just like reiterating what Ashley's saying in different words. Like, society told you 8 kilos is a lot.
Yeah, you've told yourself that 8 kilos.
Yeah, you've told yourself. You're looking in the mirror, comparing your weight gain to where you've come from. So of course it seems significant from that perspective. But you know, how often, Ash, are we having this conversation with people who are like still in small bodies? It's just the fact that they gained, you know, however many kilos has brought them into like
a normal size body.
Feel like a bigger small body, or like
you're like a extra small. I mean, like you're like a wait, they call it extra medium.
Yeah, like I lost my period. I lost my period losing weight to where you are now, having gained weight. You know, like so just it's all just so different. And the point here is like, you can't control it. And what Ashley always says that I love is how like you can't tell your body to comply. You know, like you'll get your period back on this amount of weight gain. That's when we know that you've hit a ceiling and you're at your ceiling. And I hear this in Sarah. And what I love about Sarah's email is how she's like, she doesn't like, thinks that she already knows like this is kind of what's going on, right? Like, yes, like school teachers, geez Louise.
I used to teach school. For 4 years. And then I was like, whoo.
I know. I live next to an elementary school. And I'm like, the sun is not even up, you know, and these ladies are on the PA system. They're getting ready, Pledge of Allegiance time, everyone. And I'm like, go back to bed. But school has to start so early so everyone's parents can go to work. And then these teachers are staying behind to like grade homework, and they're dealing with children all day. And that ain't happening for me. Wow. So it is, you know, yes, it is super stressful. And I do play, just to like pivot from the weight gain thing, unless are you finished on, do you feel
No. I would just like to say that I'm shorter than her and I weigh more than her. And so I like to so I just really want us to know that that if we're super defensive about you've gained enough weight, we have boxed in your options. Does that make sense? That we have like boxed in the options of where we can troubleshoot. And I'm not saying that, oh, if you gain 10 more pounds, everything will go away. But what I'm saying that if you don't leave that as an open option, you are literally like cuffing yourself. Like you're running out of options really, really fast.
Yeah. And I just did the math, and coincidentally, the example I was using of 8 kilos is exactly what that was a total coincidence. That is nothing. I'm telling you right now, when you're coming up out of Sarah, your particular starting weight, it's slightly different.
Yeah.
So you're gaining 8 kilos, and you're putting a lot of pressure on that 8 kilos to deliver something.
Yeah, we think that 8 kilos or whatever it is for us, it's 18, right? Can heal anything. And so it is shocking. I'm just going to give you full on credit. It is shocking. And I know it's shocking you. That's because in society, we lose our shiz over 3 pounds or 5 pounds. You know what I mean? Which is like 1 to 2 kilos for you or something like that. You know what I mean? And so like, I get why we're convinced that this can't possibly be the situation, because society tells us you need to go on a diet if like you're up by 5 pounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very confusing.
It is very confusing. Yeah.
People listening, so for y'all, 8 kilos is like 17, 18 pounds. And definitely people like that's a common amount of weight to gain in recovery, right? 18 and beyond. Okay.
And beyond. Yeah. Let's normalize the beyond, because whenever we talk about that, people are like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Because I was really freaking out. You know what I mean? And I was that person who most definitely had to gain way more than 20 pounds.
Yeah. I'm trying to do the math because I can't pound, but I had to go from 64 kilos up to 75.
And so think about this. At 70, so
that's 11 kilos. So
I lost my cycle at 135 pounds, 145 pounds. I just want people to realize that. And she's at 128 pounds, wondering where her cycle's at. I realized that my situation, I was very lean at that weight because I just carry a lot of like muscle. But I just like to share that because people would be like, there's no way. I mean, my doctors were like, there's no way that you have HA. You weigh 135 pounds. You weigh 145 pounds.
Yeah. Your overall like, and this is the other thing, right? So say like your overall size matters, right? Say some of that weight that you gained is muscle, like, I don't know, but like, it's not all just, you're not just like the first pound you gain is not just excess body fat. Right?
Yes. Yes.
You're not going straight from your current weight to gaining excess body fat. Holy cow. If you gain 8 pounds, right? Probably 8 pounds of that is like not even excess at this stage. Do you know, like, you get what I'm saying?
Well, one, it's probably food in your stomach for the first time, like feeling full.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
System, all these things like
glucose what do you call it?
You have to give the body credit that like not everything's like, and in recovery, your body typically doesn't want to go from a deficit to maintenance. It wants to go from a deficit to a surplus. And this isn't just in food, this is oftentimes in body weight too. So you need to push past this level of discomfort with your weight. We all have a level when we go into this process that we're willing to meet, and then we all reach a point where that number has been met, and now we're at this stage of discomfort and we're not sure how to push through. And so Sarah's saying like, let me look around at everything else it could be, and that is valid and encouraged and fine, because I don't want us all living these highly stressed out lives, hoping that weight gain is going to save us. Nothing's like, it just, no. So this brings me to a topic that has been very close to home for me and is coming up a lot in other people's lives too. Just like you have normalized a certain, like you have, normalized a certain body type to be what is healthy, and you have accepted in your head that, like, you know, every additional pound that you have to gain is bad. You've also accepted that having a lot on your plate and being super busy and all of these expectations are normal. And this is me. Like, I think that having 3 jobs is like normal. You know, I think that like having a child with almost no like support system around you is normal. I think that, like, you know, staying on top of the house and staying on top of the laundry and like your kid never getting sick and all of that kind of thing, like, or your kid always getting sick, sorry, and that kind of thing is like normal. And handling, most importantly, that handling it all at the same time and never putting something down to make room for something else, that is normal. And it is not, and it has been very difficult. Now, when I got my first period back, some of the things back then, didn't have a kid and all that stuff, right? First of all, took training off my plate. So that was a big one because I was obsessed with that. But then I also stopped working on the weekends. Like I had a job that I was logging in on the weekends. We all were. And I put a stop to that. And just like this expectation that I could handle these things, and opened myself up to the idea of like, what if, even though I want to do that thing, what does it look like to say, to cut myself off? There's the cloud. Hey, everyone. Before we jump into this episode, we have some very exciting news. January 10, the next cohort of the Restore program is here. And we have put some like rocket fuel on this program. We are so excited.
Yes, we are so pumped to bring you a program with weekly, yes, you heard that right, weekly live coaching. And this isn't just random, hey, what's kind of come to our mind, but this is very structured coaching sessions that we feel is vital to your recovery, meaning that we're going to get straight to the root that's holding you back.
Totally. We ran the very first version of this just at the endish of last year, and it went so well. We saw what worked, what didn't. We fine-tuned it, and the feedback was incredible. And I think it's to what you were saying, Ashley, this weekly coaching, it's not just these group calls. It's where we do food reviews for every single person. You'll have 3 food reviews so we can review your diary and give you actual feedback on exactly what you are eating as you move through the program to help make sure you're moving forward, as well as exercise reviews and any kind of advice that you need around that kind of thing. And the coolest part, which we didn't do last time and we're so excited to be adding in, is there will be email and one-on-one call check-in points as well for each client.
Basically, meaning that you're going to have the structure of how to move forward and the support all in one. It's literally the best coaching package you're going to come across. Like I was joking with Danny, but this might be the greatest bundle in the world. Like we are bundling all of our services to be the most effective course you could go through and get your period back.
I think that's a really great way to put it, right? We've taken like the elements of one-on-one coaching that we do that's so effective, and the elements of our community, the HA Society, put it together in one and been like, okay, here's the community aspect. We're going to do these live coaching sessions, but we have developed like an actual syllabus for all of it that we know through all of our experience with all of these clients. We know that these are the fundamental things you need to know, right? And so we've put that in a class with a group and brought one-on-one coaching in to help make sure you're getting the individualization that is extremely important for each person. And it's amazing. Like, it is literally the best bundle, the best bundle in the entire world.
Yes.
So we don't want to keep you from the episode much longer, but we want to prepare you. January 10, the Restore program is opening. There is 100% a spot with your name on it. Because if you're done wasting time, like, right, Ashley, you should just get in these people's ear.
Basically, we don't want you wasting any more time on like something that can be fixed. You're not the unicorn. I hate to tell you that you're not the unicorn. And I don't want you to be the unicorn. Come get your hormones restored, your period restored. And if you want to have a baby, let's do that too. I mean, I can't exactly help you, like,
Yeah, we're there.
the process, but we can get you ready. We can get you ready. You can get that too.
Yeah. It's like, what is getting your period back worth to you? Is it worth waiting any more? Is it worth continuing to DIY it? Which, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to actually get your period back and have it be in the healthy parameters and work hard on your relationship with your body and with food, this program is 100% perfect for you. So come and get the help of both Ashley and myself, both of us, right?
Yes.
Taking you through this program along with everyone else that joins you. Come and do it. Check out thehasociety.com/restore. Sign up for the wait list. Get ready, because Restore is coming and 2023 is going to be your year.
Yes. Excited to see you there.
Nice. All right. On with the show.
Say no.
Mhm.
Create space, like be still. And it's really hard for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I like to think of recovering from HA as like a stress bucket, and like depending on how you fill it is going to depending on what you can handle. Meaning, so like kind of one of those things of like, I know that when I carry a little bit more extra weight, I can like that's no longer a stressor on my body. So therefore I can probably handle additional work stress. Does that make sense? That like your stress bucket matters, like what's going in it, right? Meaning that also when I carry a little more extra weight, I can train more and not have it impact my cycle, right? So because that isn't stressing out my system. So I bring this up because as we're recovering, you may have not reached that weight yet. So the additional stress that you're adding on has a bigger impact and is going to get you closer to the top, to the fill of your stress bucket and potentially overflow, right? So I think it's, but then on top of it, even if you do have your cycle, it doesn't matter. There's still boundaries that I'm constantly having to reassess for myself of like, just because I can doesn't mean I should. Like that got me into such a work burnout and such a miserable place that like I felt so trapped and like crying all the time about like my work situation, my stress situation, that like I was like, I actually don't care if everybody else can do it. I don't want to do it anymore. Like cool for you.
It has to be okay that you're not able to do what everyone is normal or whatever.
Yes, absolutely. And like one of the other things is that like I think I really went into like a hermit stage at that time, because I was like, I actually need to establish for myself how much I want on my plate. And I can't do that if I'm around everybody and everyone's full plate, because I just get distracted and I just start looking at, oh, well, what can they handle? Well, what are they doing?
It's like not relevant. And it's called, like there's a name for this too. It's called your allostatic load.
Yes.
Our goals with clients is to rebuild their allostatic load. And that is your body's ability to handle and tolerate stresses in order to maintain homeostasis in the body. Everyone's is different. Beginning from being in the womb through to what you go through in infancy and teenhood to now, and that is why you are different to someone else. But
like emotional stress, mental stress, how like you respond to that is completely different than somebody else.
Yeah.
And so that's why I do agree that like we have to really put some cushion on the areas that we really can to make sure that it's not a potential stress and or it can help us absorb. So hence why, like, you know, like, so like you're talking about Alice, what did you say? I know it.
allostatic fluid.
Okay, yes. But there's also nutritional stress from not eating enough. Like that is stress. That is 100% stress on your body. You know what I mean?
Or like only eating vegetables.
Yes. Yeah. Having too low of blood sugar. Like I get a lot of clients who have hopped on the blood sugar train. I put that in air quotes for everyone listening, because what they're really doing is I want to keep it as low as possible. And if it ever spikes, then that's the worst. Guys, that's not like, it's supposed to ebb and flow. And yes, it's supposed to come back down, but it's not supposed to be so low that it never spikes, meaning that like you need an insulin response to build muscle. I don't see anybody freaking out about that. But if someone eats oatmeal and because I saw some influencer put on a continuous glucose monitoring, thing, and then like your blood sugar temporarily spiked because you had oatmeal, it's like the end of the world. I'm like, well, you don't feel that way towards building muscle.
Yeah, it's a natural mechanism.
So it's a natural thing. And yes, it is supposed to come down. And if you know Danny and I, we do talk about blood glucose levels. So we're not like throwing that out the window. That's actually a really big part of our coaching.
I think what people don't realize too is that like the all-in method is not just, I don't know how, like exactly how it's prescribed or explained, but like it's not just about eating more because you're getting the calories in. The process of eating more is you're probably eating more frequently now, balancing your blood sugar now. Like it's doing more than just that.
Yes, it's like you eating more, like the body's really great because it's like, hey, I'm going to handle the complex things. I'm just going to give you the one signal to eat more because I feel like that's all you can handle right now. You know what I mean? But you're right. It's doing so much more. So much more.
And like, okay. And then I want to use the job thing as an example here.
Yeah.
As just something to like throw out there that we've never actually touched on. Because it feels, you know, when you start talking about things like this, it feels really bad to say wrong. Like, and I think that this is a societal belief thing that, you know, just a deeper layer that I haven't been able to get my head around, right? But telling someone like, hey, maybe, and this I'm not aiming this at you, Sarah. This is just
this is not specifically
now just like bring it up for whoever needs to maybe hear it. It feels like it's wrong to tell people like, hey, maybe you're in a career that's not right for you, or like maybe now is like it's not a good time, and like oh, in the pursuit of health there are some things that we shouldn't have to work around, right? Or that we should work around because we can't do anything about.
I think this is
why it's been so hard for me. I have a lot of fear around financial safety and security, and it's trauma for me. And so I'm actually feeling emotional.
Yeah, beautiful. Go for it, girl.
The thought of like reducing my income or my mental health is extremely painful and hard. And it's like I go around and around in circles with like my husband or whoever. Like this is what my gut says. Like I know I need space and I need time, and it's okay for us to like make less money to, you know, like for the society, for example, I didn't just go straight into doing this full time. You know, like no way. Not making that much money, you know, like our first month we made like $100. That's not because that's how business works. So of course I had another job, right? And so at some point you get to an area where it's like this business is showing potential, right? Things are working out. What happens if you dedicate yourself to it? And so many of us get stuck here where it's like, well, I don't want to make that career change, or I don't want to like jump into this business because I'm afraid of what it's going to do to my safety. And that was me. And so I dragged myself through the mud, knowing exactly what's going on, having everyone around me tell me it's okay, like take the risk, take the chance, we'll support you, you have enough in savings, yada yada. And I just couldn't do it, couldn't pry my fingers off. Like, it's so hard, so painful for me. And so I'm like, and this is because I have belief systems around how like, this is how I was raised, y'all. You have a job and it is full time and it is 5 days a week, and you work your way up that ladder and you make it happen. And the concept that you need rest, or that working 4 days a week or whatever, the concept of that is selfish and bad and
privileged, like, or probably privileged.
Yeah, like all this stuff. And it's not okay for a sheriff woman to do that. And that, like, I hope you never listen, Mom, but that's what happened to me.
So I can completely relate, because I grew up the same way. I mean, I actually grew up really poor. You know what I mean? As I'm like, my mom most times didn't have enough to eat. So she fed us. She didn't eat enough. You know what I mean? She worked. I mean, I remember like she couldn't afford daycare, so she would. I mean, this was back in the day, right? So don't go be calling CPS on my mom. But she would not take a lunch, and then she'd go and pick us up from school, and then she'd have to go back to work. So we would just chill in the car with the windows rolled down underneath a tree, just because she's like, I have to go back to work. I can't afford daycare, and don't kill each other. Don't open the door. I'm gonna come check on you on my break. You know what I mean? Just like real hardcore stuff. And then, so I think from there, and I think that potentially you could relate to this, is like my ability to bring in an income is tied to my worth and how I can contribute to the family. And so that's nothing that Blake has ever actually said to me, right? And nor does he actually like hold those beliefs. And I know Jake doesn't either, right?
No, it's not them.
So like, it's literally us bringing this baggage into it. And so that's when I really had to like pull back and say, interesting. I think I control everything. I think that I genuinely have control over this. You know what I mean? Or that like my worth is in how like I can, work all these jobs and take care of Nuggie and do, you know what I mean? Yeah. That, like there's this gold privilege that there's this gold star because you can handle all this and you make it work. And at the end of the day, I was just like, actually, what if I exit this cycle that is actually not serving me and is actually not true?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I've actually done a lot of work around that as well, as in like,
That's why I wanted to bring it up, because I bet you the majority of us are dealing with something like that. There are very few people, they do exist, but there are very few people who are like, I'm good. I'm just gonna like take a year off. Like I quit my job and I'm just gonna like, even the way I'm imitating those people, I'm like obviously putting a judgment on them.
I know. I was like, Danny, is there a little judgment on that?
But I don't want there to be. And so
totally.
Like just in this thing of like, what is on your plate? Like it's not just, you have to really look at it and like, what are you at? Like, what's on your plate?
Yeah.
And where is it coming from and how real is it? And because maybe it's not actually such bad advice when someone's like, maybe you should quit your job.
Well, one of the things that I realized is that handling all these jobs, doing all those things, or back in that burnout phase, no, I would not look at that phase of my life and said I'm happy or healthy. And so then, I mean, like I'll do some mission trips, just like a third wall. And it's just such an eye-opening experience. I mean, obviously I think that you get some of it, like you get more probably than like what you put into it, because you wind up having a different perspective of like, there's happiness can be found outside of working myself all the way to the bone. Like actually happiness can be achieved with a simpler life. And I think that's why I'm always like, I want to obviously work in the US, you know what I mean? Like remote, but I want to go to another country. Like, you know, like my friend's living in Belize and she's like, it's just a simpler life, Ashley. No, you know what I mean?
Totally. Gosh, this is hitting me, guys. This is hitting me like this is the stuff, right? This is why I got into coaching, was because it wasn't as simple for me as gaining weight. It was extremely important. It was fundamental.
Yes.
But that last mile of that marathon was like, okay, what is keeping me in this stressed state? What is keeping me in this state of fear where I don't feel safe and I need to make changes, and they need to be drastic. Adding a meditation into my day, not gonna
do it.
Handle all this crap anymore. It needs to be more substantial than that. And I just want that to like hit whoever is listening, that I made those changes out of fear. Ashley's made those changes out of fear. A lot of it's stories in our head. And a lot of it's, you know, real. And so maybe you are living a life that requires you to work too much, right? Like not, you know, you make X amount, now you've developed a lifestyle. And if that's a contributing factor to you, it's not about what supplements or adaptogens now can I take to help me handle that. It's more about, well, what about that lifestyle that you're aiming to have, right? That body you're aiming to have, that lifestyle you're aiming to have, that's not serving you and is actually the problem. So yeah,
love it. I mean, I can continue to go on and on and on about this, but I know that we have a cutoff.
Yeah, we gotta go, but we
gotta get going. So
right.
Good.
Love y'all. I hope that this was valuable to you. If you want to submit a question, please shoot it over on Instagram, or if you're on our email list, you can basically just hit reply to any email that you get.
And that truly is faster.
That's the direct line to me.
Yeah. Email y'all.
Yes. Thank you very much. Please, I don't know, hit subscribe on this podcast. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.
Oh, how do I? There we go.
That was good, Danny.
Let me guess. Unknown caller. You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Why do we love Miro?
Well, Miro's visual collaboration platform lets our team work together in real time anywhere.
Absolutely. We can organize ideas, visualize plans, create flowcharts, run engaging workshops, you name it. Really, Miro's Canvas has a template to get us started on any project.
And video meetings are just way more productive when we can show our team ideas on a Miro board.
Honestly, working remotely was nightmarish for us because we felt disconnected. But Miro's online whiteboard gets everyone on the same page. Also, we can use our other favorite tools with Miro. It's kind of like Miro is the
center of our work universe.
I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, it's how we do big things.
Ready to see why our team uses Miro to work together?
Getting started is so easy. Sign up today at Miro.com. That's Miro.com.
Thank you so much for listening today, guys. Please subscribe to the podcast, and if you could head to iTunes specifically and leave a rating or review, that would help so much because it makes it easier for other people with HA who are Googling around to find the podcast really easily. So if you do that, you're doing a service to all of the women